My birthplace was in northeastern Indian jungles, and my early life was very short because I left home when I was 5 years old. I actually never became a monk. It's something that circumstances in the world and the way my life turned out, I ended up being picked up and put in an ashram. And that's where I grew up. The start of my spiritual journey was when I was roaming around India and someone found us in a town next to a train station and picked us up and put us in the ashram. So that's how my spiritual journey began. My family was not very happy because as jungle dwellers, we had different spiritual paths. And when they found me in the ashram after 2 years of looking for me and my brother, then they wanted us to go home, but somehow we were convinced that at the age of 7 that the path of bhakti is our path and there was no way we go back to anything else. Whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. And that we are not the controllers, so we should act and do everything that we need to do in this world, but do it with detachment, because we're not the doers. Everything has been done through us. My name is Veda Ji, and I am from India, northeast of India. And I currently live in the United States of America in a city called Atlanta, Georgia. My birthplace was in northeastern Indian jungles, in a district in Assam bordering some other states. I don't quite know exactly where that is, but it was in the jungle. And my early life was very short because I left home when I was 5 years old. So there's not much that I remember about my life growing other than living in nature with perfect harmony. I actually never became a monk. It's something that circumstances in the world and the way my life turned out, I ended up being picked up and put in an ashram. And that's where I grew up. The start of my spiritual journey was when I was roaming around India and someone found us in a town next to a train station and picked us up and put us in the ashram. So that's how my spiritual journey began. I didn't leave anything behind. I was just leaving behind family. But it wasn't something that I chose. It was circumstances that actually made me go for a little adventure and not being able to go back home. So my life wasn't something that glorious, living in the woods. It was peaceful. My family was not very happy because as jungle dwellers, we had different spiritual paths. And when they found me in the ashram after 2 years of looking for me and my brother, then they wanted us to go home, but somehow we were convinced that at the age of 7 that the path of bhakti is our path and there was no way we go back to anything else. I feel great to be practicing this life of bhakti. I have been practicing for 42 years now, and it's a very joyful experience. And it's hard to explain in a few words, but it is something that I urge all of you to experience, the joy of bhakti. Our schedule is generally an early rise, early bed. We go to bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock latest. And then we wake up by 3 a.m. And our day begins with meditation, singing, chanting, dancing, and prayers, and then studying. Spirituality is the journey of the heart. And spirit is the heart, and ritual is the process where we engage this body in the service of the divine, in service of Krishna. One of the biggest teachings that I have received from the Bhagavad Gita is to realize that whatever is meant to happen is going to happen. And that we are not the controllers. So we should act and do everything that we need to do in this world, but do it with detachment, because we're not the doers. Everything has been done through us. People are unhappy these days. It's very common and it's very normal. And the reason is primarily because people are pursuing things that are temporary. And everything that we pursue is in relation to the temporary nature of our existence, our body, mind, the families. These are all temporary things, and they do not go with us. So this is why we are unhappy, because our nature is Satchidananda, where we are eternal, and we're pursuing something that is temporary. So there is a contradiction there, and that causes unhappiness. There is no congruency in who we are and what we pursue. My recommendation is a recommendation from Bhagavad Gita, where it is very clearly stated that we must restrain our senses from the sense objects and remain centered in our true, essential, authentic spiritual self. And that is the solution. And that can be done through meditation, yoga, kirtan, seva, satsang. This process is given to us by the sages. For thousands of years, the sages have very clearly laid out a method of how to be happy. We just have to reach out and implement those practices. The benefits of spiritual life is vast. And the reason it's vast is because once you start to practice spiritual life, you will learn to live your life from within. Most of the life that we live in this world is based on the norms of society, what society tells us to do, what society portrays as being cool, as being fun, is its success. And so based on that, we live our lives. And so that's why it causes us a lot of bondage and suffering and pain in this world. So when you practice spiritual life, you'll realize you're taking a journey inwards. It's not an outside journey, it's an inward journey where you get access to your divine spiritual self. And when you have access to that, then we're able to establish a beautiful relationship with God, with Krishna. And that relationship then brings out the deepest spiritual joy. So from that consciousness, then all your actions and how we interact with the world is extremely sublime and is in the mode of goodness and is very joyfully, a life that is joyfully lived. Everybody knows kirtan. You're welcome to check out, kirtans around the world. There is thousands of people who are being nourished by this beautiful songs of the heart. The message to the world that I give is the message that I have gotten from my teachers. And the message is, please take the time to take a journey inward. And when you get into that space in your heart where you can sit with the divine, just like two birds sitting on a tree. One bird is enjoying the fruits of the tree and the other bird is simply sitting as a friend, a companion. So similarly, in our heart, the divine is situated waiting for us to look inside and acknowledge our spiritual constitutional position. And from there, we'll have a divine relationship. And that is the highest goal of life, to be situated in the self. Bhakti is a journey to the heart, and everyone in this world is looking for love. And love is inside of us, not outside. That everything in this world has a shelf life, has an expiry date. So please read the expiry date before you do anything in this world. And the second lesson from the Bhagavad Gita is that whatever you do, you can do it as a service to Krishna. You can do it as a service to God. And lesson 3 that I learned from the Gita is that the laws of karma is applicable only when we are acting from our false ego. So, rise above the false ego and be free from the laws of karma. I feel great to be practicing this process of bhakti, and I enjoy every day of my life, and that enjoyment is deep within my heart when I'm engaged in the service of Krishna and His creation. So the 3 best practices for staying healthy and fit is, number 1, you must wake up early before sunrise and do something for your heart, meaning praying, meditation, practicing of gratitude. And the second thing is, please eat food that has high pranic content, not food that is going to destroy this beautiful body that has been given to us. And third thing is to keep in mind that exercise and taking care of this body, it is our duty. So please respect this body and treat it with utmost care. By walking, exercising, yoga, and many other pranayama, many other practices. My mission in the West was given to me by my spiritual master. He said, Paschatya Desha Tarini. That means this bhakti, the message of bhakti, must be brought to the Western world. Indians are generally very privileged in this spiritual realm because very easy, people can just go to Vrindavan, go to Rishikesh, And the West, they don't have this accessibility so easily. So therefore, mission of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada was that this message of Bharat, this message of spiritual love, must reach the hearts and minds of the Western audience. So that is my dharma, that is my passion, that is what I live for, and that is what I will die for. There are many, many incredible people in the world, and there are many ways to stay connected, because all of you out there are somehow or other going to be connected to social media. That is a given, and it's normal. And so therefore, why not make the best use of your time on YouTube and other social media platforms to stay connected to something that will nourish your mind and nourish your heart and challenge your material status quo and other material levels of frustrating consciousness. I have recently got on social media, so I'm accessible online on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can look me up by Veda Ji or Veda the monk. You should be able to find me. And you can see the activities that I'm involved with in the United States and Europe.